Roll up, roll up, roll up, and see the Indycar show, everyone! That's right, we're at Auto Club, or possibly Fontana, or possibly California, and we're struggling to even start a race without smashing it into a wall. Yeah, that's right, fast and furious. Let's start off by looking at some of the ways your race can end. Here's a slide job. Up the inside, purple car, doink! Into the wall, race over. You can screw yourself up. Just slide through your box and try and find your marks. Find your marks. What else can we do? We can head into turn 3 at high speed, go around the outside, and put ourselves into the wall and ruin several other people's races. What fun for all the family! Smashing in a straight line, piling into the back of someone because we didn't brake hard enough. It's a laugh riot every minute of the day at the Auto Club Circus. Roll up, boink, boink. Watch out, watch out. They're coming for you. Here we go. What's going to happen next? How's it all going to go hilariously wrong? Oh, slide job. Boink. He didn't brake hard enough, did he? He should have expected that. Did he expect this? No! Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Over and over we go. Off to space. What other circus can you go to space at, I ask you? Let's see why that happened again. Because we used the apron. Couldn't hold it together coming back on board. One more and then we'll get down to something sensible. How do we lose this race? Wait for it. Oh, wait for it. Oh, wait for it. That's right, a clash to desktop. Anyway, let's try and strike out for some kind of sanity, shall we? There are 3 basic ways you can approach this race. We're going to start off by trying to start at the back and see what that gets us and see what some of the pitfalls will be. Nice calm start. Gonna sit here at the back, knock it into the low fuel map as soon as possible, vibe. If any positions come to us, like that one there, someone just declining to use his accelerator pedal for reasons, but we're not going to get too fussed about moving forward. So now we're going to have a look at the difficulty of trying to actually move forward in these hot track temps. It's now lap 28. Getting towards the end of the fuel run. I'm done with saving. Fuel map 1, and let's try and throw it up the inside and see what happens. As you can see, we're going to quite easily clear this fella, and then we do so well that we're just alongside, and I decide I'm not going to try and push my way back in. Could have done it, leaves me without draft. Fortunately I'm able to get it done by going to the inside again and just rising back up the track. But that's what you always need to consider as we go forward again to lap 38 when you're trying to make up any position here. How am I going to get back in the draft? Because otherwise you'll just get hung up on the outside being freight trained. We come into the pits now on lap 38. Breaking it down nicely. Time to stop in the box. Oh, bugger. And at this point, it looks like any chance of doing well at all is just gone for a button. So we emerge well down the order, and all we can do now is just ride and hope for something to happen. And there you go, anything can happen in IndyCar iRacing, and it usually does. So when there's a late race caution, you very often see what you can see up at the top right, showing that about half the field have had a fresh set of tyres to pit for, and the other half of the field have gone, ooh, we're going to take the chance, we're going to get track position and try and stay ahead. I've decided to stay out on this occasion and try and bind myself into the fight for the win as early as possible. See how that ends up for me. Just after the restart, we're going to have 3 abreast coming into 1 and 2. I still think I want to be holding position here in 4th. Not quite time to go for it. And there's another caution.
You are such a damn idiot, dude.
So, 1 caution later. So, 3 to go. Now it's time to start trying to make something happen. Going to keep the outside here. Roll round, get as good a run as possible coming up the back, and then see what we can do. Just able to promote ourselves to 3rd, possibly momentarily. And I decide if they both dive, I'm going to try and hold them down. Just about works, but now what? Still 2 more positions, people coming up behind fast. And once you lose the draft, you very quickly find people arriving behind you at a rate of knots. It's play again in 1 and 2. Instead of going up the middle, do go up the middle. Into the lead! But again, I just don't feel I'm safely far enough ahead to cut down on Stephen. Gonna have to settle for 2nd, and now I'm getting freight trained by the people behind me in draft. Down to 3rd, possibly down to 4th, as here comes someone else shooting his shot. Hanging it around the outside. Get the draft, back we come. 3 wide again? No, bad decision there. Straight into someone else's gearbox. Try and hold him down again. He wants more space. I have to rise up. The guy behind me can't react. Round and dead.
Hey, kill guys, don't hold that fucking line.
Ah, frustrating, but when you race that hard for the win, sometimes things like that are going to happen.
Right.
This is also frustrating as I'm left marooned a few yards short of the finishing line and have to watch everyone else go past. Hey ho, on to the next one. Right, different approach this time. Qualified P2, we're going to try and stay here, or at least in the top 4 or 5 positions. Pay close attention, don't go any further forward than 3rd, save a bit of fuel and see what comes of it. So, whipping it ahead to lap 12, and this is pretty much how the first 12 laps have gone. Sitting in P3, just gently fencing off someone in P4 who wants to come and try and take the position. Just diving the bottom, getting a better run behind P1, taking the inside. Still getting decent fuel numbers, even though I'm having to keep it in map 1 to stay here. Coming high now, always looking for the draft. Trick is in keeping the draft without overdoing it and overtaking P1 or P2. That's not what I want to do. I just want to show P4 down a blind alley there. No one coming round the top. Side if he wants to, but he's lifted. Keeping that draft. It does take quite a bit more concentration than just vibing down somewhere in the region of P9. And there is quite a bit more risk, because there's always the danger, the higher up you are, that you'll meet someone who decides that it's absolutely vital to their race that they take the lead on lap 12 and get absolutely murdered by someone who's a bit too over-optimistic and slide jobs in front of you. Desperately clinging onto that draft as a new challenger emerges in P4. As we come through 3 and 4 one more time. Falling into line. It's caution time. There's very often a caution in these races about now. I'm going to pit.
5 minutes later.
Rejoining a few laps after we get going. So here's what's happening here. The reason a lap 15 caution is so interesting is because it's about the first point where if you pit right away, you can then knock it into map 5, go full fuel save, you'll fall off the back of everyone else most likely, but you can try and make it to the end on fuel and with relatively little risk. If there's another caution, you just pit fuel and tyres like anyone else. Lap 26 and, There it is. So much for that. We just have to safely make our way through the carnage. It was a nice thought. And what are we going to do now? Now this is where I make my race. You're limited in these races to 2 sets of tyres. And a lot of people, particularly those who didn't pit on the first caution, are going to go, right, here we come. I, on the other hand, am going to stay out. And rejoining on lap 31, here I am playing first, second, third once more, saving that fuel to make sure I can get to the end. So what's going on here is that I've still got a set of tyres, and I'm banking on a 10 lap tyre advantage. Not worth that much, especially considering how much running. They will have fresher tyres if we all make it to the end, but it's a very different situation to a caution later in the race. And here's the other thing, if there's anyone there who's stopped twice and is taking tyres twice, they're now out of tyres. And if there's one more caution near the end, I've got a fresh set to put on and have that advantage. But for now, the order of the day, hold first, hold second, hold third. Going ahead to lap 42, starting to get quite a bit spicy. I'm nearly at the point now where I can just put the hammer down if I want to and hold my position. And oh, someone's falling down the field. Here's that other caution. Now it's time to take the second stop in the second set of tyres. Right then, game on. 8.5 laps to go. Trying to swim through this mass of people at the front with a 20 lap tyre advantage. Trying to follow Nick Wheeler ahead. Coming through 3 and 4. And now, having had our race made, it's time for it to get broken. Coming down to the inside looking for Aaron. Ooh! It could have been worse. We've still got our front wing. The guy in front who we've punted, it looks like he dropped down on us. But let's see that again in slow motion and watch carefully what happens with the car on the inside. So the red car swerves down to avoid giving a punt up the bum, and instead he ends up getting a punt up the bum from me. No caution, no damage, we're still in it, but the next few laps are a real struggle trying to swim my way back up the field. Throwing it massively up the inside here. Sort of thing that you have to start doing near the end of the race. It's completely different doing this on lap 57 than it is doing it on lap 7. And you can see there I just get hung out to dry with no draft. Finally someone drops to the inside too late. I tried to pick it up again. I managed to secure P5. And as we're coming through, 2 to go, and there's a caution. That's it, race ends under caution, P5. Good result, but not as good as it could have been. Once more into the breach. This time once again we've gone with the strat of qualifying up high, trying to just remain in close attendance, see what the leaders are doing, not get left behind. See how the race develops. Craig Forsyth, very fast driver, also on YouTube at Forsyth Racing. Check him out when you're done with me for his side of this. Lap 16, it's starting to get really spicy up front, so I decide, maybe time to drop to the midfield area, and I do it right as a caution comes out. Same drill as last time, we're going to pit for boots and fuel and then try to make it to the end and just see what happens next. Look Ma, I made a pit stop without sliding through my box like a pillock. Half distance, everything seems to be going okay so far as we come on to lap 30 again. Down at bottom right is that fuel number. As long as it's green, everything's fine. And what we want is some spare fuel at the end so we can have some push laps and go for that win. 10 laps later, still all going rather well. At the bottom of my fuel box, see the max number? That's the number I'm really looking forward to go green now. Once it does that, I know I can push for the win. Lap 47, and this is looking really good for me. Fuel nicely on target, and I can pick my moment to knock it into map 1 and attack. And this is going to help even more. Crash, a good racer, he's just had an issue. That's a position for free. Never turn up your nose at a position for free in this game. Craig up in front's a tough racer. Alaric's a tough racer. It's going to take a lot of effort to win this, but we're going to give it a bloody good go. Over the line, lap 48, watch the box. Just short of green. 0.08 if I pushed as hard as I possibly can in clean air for every lap. It's almost time to go for it. But just because I can go for it doesn't mean I should necessarily. Maybe a thing to just hold on for a lap or two more, see if an opportunity presents itself naturally rather than trying to force one. Craig just gently fencing P2 off, and here's a massive run. We'll take it to the outside. There's your P4, very nice. A couple of laps later, and I've now seen that Craig is defending by holding the third line. That gives me the confidence to drop to the inside. I know I can come into his draft, and here we go. And I've seen something even better as we make it into third, start thinking about second. There's a lap car coming up ahead. If I can use his draft to pull myself into the lead, I'll be in a really strong position. Up to the top, come down, try and get underneath P2 on exit. He drops in front of me, but I'll have his draft. Pull out, Craig defends. Back into lane 2 to fence him off. Oh, nip and tuck stuff, and I know I've got to make this pass so I can pick up Will Stearns' draft and get into the lead. To the outside this time. Watching for the person coming all the way around the outside. Looking for the run on exit this time. And look at that, looks like P2 just overdrove it on worn tyres. Craig to the inside. Here's the draft, thank you very much. Perfectly timed. I'm in the lead. All I've got to do now is hold it, but the trouble is, of course, that so few races get to this point, I don't really have a whole lot of experience, and that explains what happens next, unfortunately. Now, it hasn't really twigged in my head at this point, but Craig is ready to be very aggressive defending. Quick look, where is he? He must be going high, so I can drop low and then come back out to the outside on exit. And contact! I'm off towards the wall, I keep it together. Craig is round and gone. Now I feel terrible, I know what's happened and I know I'm at fault. Craig quite legitimately put himself in the third lane to squeeze me and ruin my exit. I didn't think he was going to do that. I don't have triples, so I can't see where he is, and I just rose up and hit him. 100% my fault. He's got into the pits, he's repaired his damage, and he's back out on the lead lap. But now I've got to put all of that out of my mind and go for the win. Trying to get a fast start, put as much distance between us as possible. The same thing that happened in the last race is happening again, but in reverse. There's people who have pitted for fresh tyres, and I'm marooned on old ones. The draft's strong enough to bring people back towards me, but what I'm hoping is that Alaric at least can kind of rear gun for me. I can hold him off, and he then can hold off the people charging from the rear. Safely through 3 and 4, 2 to go. Trying to give Alaric that draft, keep him ahead. Now I've got to defend from Brennan. Fence him off to the inside. Just rising a lot more carefully up the track now. And round we go again. The car's starting to pile up behind us, all of them wanting a piece of the lead. Hoping against hope that that's going to work for me. Holding the inside. Holding the inside. White flag. One more time around. And I just lose a little confidence in my ability not to kill anyone. I lift a bit more than I should. Brennan's round the outside. He's got the fresh tyres. Now defending. Someone dives on me.
Come on, man.
And who's that in my mirror? It's a blue car. I could drop down and chop him, but I don't trust myself to be able to hold it. I go high. He comes down. He drops into the draft. Drag race to the line.
Oh god, oh god.
And Craig pips me by a few hundredths of a second. Great race. Great finish. Happy it ended that way. And then a quick postscript. I dropped into Craig's stream. He was streaming that race live. And he's such a gentleman that not only did he completely accept my apology, not only did he not hold it against me in any way, shape or form, not only did he go over with me at some detail what I should and could have been thinking instead, But he also had a look at the finish and gave me some advice on what I should have done at the finish as well. What a bloke. Can't ask for more than that when I've just nearly killed him. And that's California. Or Fontana, or Auto Club. You can definitely have a good race here. It's not just a clown show, but you may have to endure a few clown shows to get there. See you next week. Should be a good time. We've got Fixed from Kansas. We've got Open and IIS from Gateway. All places I'm looking very much forward to. See you there.